What
Oh
a
no.
good show.
No.
You don't want to see my Johnny, Craig?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm very sure.
Are you intimidated by my Johnny?
Oh my
Yes, a little bit.
gosh.
きっと約束だよいつかまた同じ笑顔で
Hello everyone and beyond, and welcome to yet another episode of the Annie Chat Box. This is episode 59. I am your host today, Jonathan Joestar, and we have a full box of liars today coming from the planet of black lizards.
Mm.
So joining me is the man of many names, Craig.
Oh, that is very spy-like. The entire theme of today's episode is Mission Impossible theme song. Dun 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 dun
Yes.
dun dun dun. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hope you all are well.
Who next?
Everyone all at once.
Well, I'm driving this getaway car, even though I don't actually have a license yet. But yeah, my name is Roll. Cinnamon Roll. I'll let you guess how that's spelled.
Oh, I like it.
Getting creative.
But yes, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us again.
I'm going to drive the other getaway car with my expired license.
I love how we do this. We got it.
And I am Cassie. I'm here.
Oh,
Have a Barks root beer.
You don't have a code name?
I have a Barks root beer and a burning passion for crime.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anywho, you can, as always, you can find this transmission at the following locations: iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and SoundCloud, as well as YouTube as well. You can contact us back via anniechatmail@gmail.com, and any donations towards the cause will be greatly appreciated at patreon.com/anniechatbox.
John, you're amazing. I love you. This is great. This is great.
And as always, twitter.com/anniechatbox as well. If you don't know what we're alluding to, or what I have been alluding to anyway, with what anime we're talking about today, we'll be getting to that later. But for now, on to our topic for today. Foreign settings in anime. So what settings do we like, or what would we like to see more of?
Mm-hmm. And I'll just briefly mention that this is prompted because the anime that we're going to review today is indeed set in somewhere that's not Japan. So we thought it would be interesting to consider anime that have notably had foreign settings, but also maybe some settings that we don't see in anime that we'd really like to see more of. So, yeah.
Well, maybe has had some series set in that kind of setting, but not for a while, or we just would like some more of it.
What was it? Oh, yeah. So, because Get plays Fate Grand Order, and I play Fate Grand Order, and they recently had a storyline that took place during the Revolutionary War. That was like a quick one. It's like, hey, let's go to Revolutionary War America. What can we do there? That would be interesting.
Nice.
The only time I've ever really seen that setting otherwise, actually in an anime, were brief glimpses of it during Axis Powers Italia because, reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, more America in general, I think would be really cool. Having some more urban America, I would like to see as a way to maybe get more diverse casts and stuff, or even just see a Japanese perspective on America. I think would also be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Because we get that pretty minimally. I know that there's only like a few that I can think of off the top of my head. Like Baccano, I believe, was set in America. And then very briefly, I think the cast of Beck goes to America.
You are right. Good
that was
one.
Gonna be my answer.
Yeah, I didn't get that far, but I'm trying to think of other ones.
I was made to hit in America.
I haven't actually seen it, but I know Cassie really likes it.
Describe it.
I think the guy strips naked in front of the White House and gets arrested.
Oh,
Eden
Eden
of
of
the
the East. They're in America
Eden of
for a
That's
little
it,
bit.
East.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not there for very long, though.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a...
It's the first episode, and they run around outside the White House and around the city for like a little bit, but then they get on a plane and go back to Japan, like the same episode. So
Yeah. That was a good portrayal, like what they had, though. I appreciated it.
yes,
I need to see your Johnny. Just...
Good
Oh,
lord.
I'll show you my Johnny.
What
Oh
a
no.
good show.
No.
You don't want to see my Johnny, Craig?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm very sure.
Are you intimidated by my Johnny?
Oh my
Yes, a little bit.
gosh. While it wasn't, to my knowledge, somebody, if they know this, could fact check me, but I think it wasn't distinctly America, but doesn't Trigun have kind of a Wild Wild West, like, American-ish
It does.
setting?
It is.
Yeah.
It is very Wild Wild West-esque in its setting. It is actually supposed to be a completely different planet, planet Gunsmoke.
Mm.
Yeah.
But it is definitely based on a Western American aesthetic in its design.
Let's be real. You know what worked for anime in the 90s? Cowboys. That's what modern anime needs. More cowboys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I think the reason why we don't see a ton of it is that typically shows with like an American setting or things that were specifically made to cater to an American Western or just a Western taste in general, like Cowboy Bebop, for example, were not popular in Japan.
That's true.
No,
You're right.
so
They
with
reached more
Baccano.
popularity in America. That's a good point.
Yeah, which is probably why we don't see more of them, but God, I'd love to. You know what's a weird thing? Like, I want an anime that's on, like, the International Space Station.
Ooh.
Just scientists doing scientist things.
Isn't that Space Brothers?
I don't know. I've never seen Space Brothers.
Okay.
I thought they were just going to the moon, but
Oh, okay.
I couldn't tell you. Have you seen Space Brothers?
Nah, I've heard it's really good though. Really good.
I'll Google it.
You know, while I haven't seen it, just talking, John got me thinking when he said that it's an interpreted planet in Trigun. I haven't seen Space Dandy, but I know he goes to a lot of different planets, and
Oh, he
maybe
does.
some of them are kind of colorful or, you
Yep.
know, a bit foreign. So that could be another one I should check out for that.
It's very kooky and fun. I like the dub of it. I was gonna say a show that we talked about recently, Fate Apocrypha. For all intents and purposes, I think that's set in Transylvania. A good portion of it,
Oh.
anyway. Namely for reasons.
For reasons.
Yeah, one of the faction teams is held up there because one of the servants
Yeah.
is Vlad the Third.
Okay, yeah, so Space Brothers says that they're aiming to fly towards the moon, and then another brother is aiming for Mars. It doesn't say anything about them being on the International Space Station.
But if
Okay.
they were, that'd be legit.
Yeah, I just thought it would be cool, because, like, there's only, like, 6 people in outer space right now. Like, right now, currently, as we're speaking. I want to know about those 6 people's lives. That'd be cool.
Hmm.
I mean, there might be something like that that exists, and if it does, please write us at anniechatmail@gmail.com and tell Cassie what she should be watching.
There is a really old movie. The name of it is blanking on me, but there is a space program involved. Although they only send one guy up, who ends up orbiting around the planet on it. Is it Wings of Eyes? Or Eyes? I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm gonna need to check that and confirm it.
While it's not that prevalent, Little Witch Academia does take place in Great Britain.
Yep.
And a good portion of the students there are ethnicities. Some are Russian, some, like, if I recall correctly, the hotshot with the broom is American.
That's right. There were a lot of different like characters, like
Yep.
representative cultures in
Yep.
the Academy, which is really cool. I mean, I think out of Europe, England is probably anime's like favorite country to be set in if they're going to make it somewhere in Europe. Would you guys maybe agree or?
Well, yeah, because I was just about to say, speaking of London, anybody ever check out Ancient Magus Bride, that little not well-known show?
That's true.
I just had another series set in London specifically pop in the head, and then I just forgot about it.
Black Butler set in somewhere in England, maybe London. I'd have to fact check, but Black Butler definitely.
Not the one I was thinking of, but another one set in London is Hellsing Ultimate as well.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
That's gonna bug
Vampires
me
and
now.
Nazis.
There was another series that was set in London, and I'm just like, and while I'm trying to remember the one that I did think of, I'm remembering other ones set in London. Real or Die, at least the OVAs were set in London.
Nice.
I think that the point that you're making, Cammy, is true, though. I agree.
Yeah.
That Japan seems to really love setting things in England. And I think that makes sense, though. Like, I feel like there's been a lot of international relations between those two countries, especially with, like,
true.
study abroad programs.
That's true.
I think study abroad in general, a lot of people go to England to study. Not just from Japan, but just a lot of people who are on the eastern side of the earth, I guess. That's a weird way of putting it. England's closer.
It is, right? I love that when you brought up England, you actually had, like, factual reasons as to why Japan and England would, like, co-op. But the first thing I thought of is the scene in Axis Powers Italia where England and Japan, like, shake hands on a starlit night on a hill or something. But then I was like, no, wait, they did actually also, yes. They had a very good relationship.
I think that your reasoning is better, and I'm gonna go with that one.
It's more gay anyway, so, you know.
I don't know how factual what I was saying was, but I do know that a lot of people I know from overseas tend to go to England in general, from Europe and from my roommate from China when I studied abroad there. She's studying in England right now, I believe.
Nice.
Ooh.
So I think that England's just the place to go for higher education or something. I don't quote me on that, but I think that just seems to be a great place to go, especially if you're, like, learning something like English.
That's true, yeah. I also think that there's just a lot of fun aesthetic to play with as far as England throughout history. I mean, we'll delve more into it, but, like, steampunk is really cool, and it's, like, a really fun idea to play with. Some of the Gothic influence, I mean, in Black Butler, that's a really big thing. Stories that have a bit more of a fairy tale setting, you go for more of, like, the European, like, fairy tale style worlds. And like you said, and just having accessibility, Japan probably has to do maybe the least amount of, like, digging to set a story in, like, somewhere like England as compared to, I don't know, like Iceland or Ireland or something, you know, just yeah, a place where they might have to do a lot more background searching and learning about stuff.
Speaking of such places, I really appreciated when they went to Antarctica in a recent anime.
Yes!
That was really, really cool. I actually think I just want more anime about traveling.
Honestly, yeah. That would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them that exist. I just want more of them now. And about young people finding themselves while traveling.
I also really like the fact that in that show, not only do they, I mean, it is in Antarctica, but they also make a couple stops along the way, too. And, like, soak in those places, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, like Australia and such.
Yeah, they were there, and then they were where they had, Dorian? Was that Singapore? I think.
I can't remember.
Yeah. But they went to a couple places. Australia also shows up in Free quite a bit.
I was going to say that, for an episode, right?
Yeah, for an episode, and then bits of background in, like, some of the movies. And for that reason, I think it was also partially just the closeness of the two countries. So, like, if you're going to travel somewhere else. Like if Rin was going to swim for another team, it's going to be Australia because it's closer by. For exchange programs again. That was cool. Oh, Monsters in Germany.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
That's neat.
Yeah, and then it goes places, but I think for the most part it stays in Germany.
One of the things I liked about Gundam 00 is that where it is mostly set on Earth, they do vary up the locations quite a bit, and you can tell, oh, this is a different location, this is a different country to that area, and this is a different location to this third area, and you got quite a diverse cast when it comes to ethnicity in 00.
As far as somewhere that might be rendered really beautifully in anime that I'd like to see something in India. I think that would be really cool. You could get some like jungle settings going in there.
Ooh.
And even if they wanted something more fantastical, there's a lot of really cool just like Hindu like lore and stuff that you could reach into. That'd be cool. The only like inkling of Indian culture that I've glanced in anime is there's some visual cues in Anthe's character in Revolutionary Girl Utena, but that's about it. And then in Fate Grand Order you have like Karna and Arjuna are two heroic spirits from just like from Indian myth, so there's that.
God, I loved Karna.
That's right. I forgot he's in the anime too. Is he a good?
He was very good. He was very good and very hot. You know,
he's pretty hot.
As a sun god now.
Yes.
Pun intended.
Lives up to his title, if you know what I'm saying.
I know who you'd be summoning if you played Fate Grand Order.
Oh yes, I will find some gifts.
Yep.
You know, if anything, I know, I haven't seen much of it, but John may get a kick out of this, but it's not very accurate, but Mobile Fighter G Gundam has parody versions of every country out there.
Oh, yeah!
They have France, Japan, America, Russia, and India. Or China, if I recall correctly. So it's like all the nation's fighters come together and like beat the crap out of each other.
All represented by a single Gundam.
Yep.
So we got some glimpses primarily of Russia, but also characters from other countries in Yuri on Ice. And I think it'd be cool if we have more Yuri on Ice, if we could then go to more other places. I mean, they went to Spain as well. But that would also be really cool if there's more traveling there. Like you were mentioning, Cassie.
I want
more animes about traveling.
I want like a season 2 of Yuri having awkward moments in Russia with his with learning how to skate and learning how to like even do something simple like buying bread. Or, I don't know, something like that, like where, you know, he's in a completely different place that's not Japan, and he has to live there and skate there, and, like, maybe it could be, like, the next step in his professional career with Victor. I would eat the shit out of that.
I would love that. I also want an OVA where we see Pachit go home to Thailand and, like, makes everybody happy. Because he's so good. That would be really, really cool.
I just want a series of OVAs about each skater.
That would be awesome. Okay, really?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Like, we could just do that instead of repeat routines. But anyway, yeah, that would be...
JJ style.
Oh,
come on,
Let's go to fucking Canada. Let's get them all in Canada.
JJ style.
I was made to hit in Canada.
Canada. Yes. That better be the drop. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I think we hit a lot of good places here, unless anybody has any other like burning ones to mention. I'm kind of out.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, same.
I think we were just mostly free balling things we've liked and things we would like to see. And I agree. I want some more Western stuff, but I also want places that they've never been before, like what you said, like India or maybe there is some. Again, if like anything we've mentioned, there is an anime that exists already, please let us know.
I will say, I don't think we've had anything in Africa since Kimba the White Lion, so let's get on that anime. Let's do it. Black Panther anime series.
Anywho, yeah, I can't think of anything else to add to that discussion, though.
You know what? I want to talk about steampunk. I just really want to talk about steampunk.
Steampunk London, specifically?
Yeah, steampunk London.
Ooh, I like that segue.
Get in our getaway car and drive to steampunk London. Hey!
Oh, yes. Get it going. Okay, anyway.
What?
But yes, anywho, the series we're going to be reviewing today is indeed Princess Principal, which is set in a steampunk London setting. Let's see. It is the studio's plural behind it are actors who have done Girls and Panzer and Mermaid Melody, Pitchy Pitchy Peach. I think.
What? I didn't know they did that.
And Studio 3 Hertz, who did Dimension W and Flip Flappers.
Flap, flap, flip, flap.
Go Kigenyo.
Go.
And the synopsis for Princess Principal goes: in the early 20th century, the discovery of the substance cavorite allowed the production of advanced military technology and steered the country towards conflict. London is now divided by a wall, and the Kingdom and the Commonwealth of Albion battle a silent war where espionage is the only weapon that can destabilize the enemy. A group of girls from the prestigious Queen's Mayfair School work as undercover spies for the Commonwealth. Led by Dorothy, an experienced driver with a striking personality, their group includes the talents of Ange Leclerc, a cold-blooded liar and expert sharpshooter, Chise, a proficient samurai, and Beatrice, a voice-mimicking specialist. They use their unique individual skills for the Commonwealth to survive in a dark world filled with conspiracy, mystery, and infiltration. In the shadow of the wall, they have only one goal in mind: completing their mission. That completely doesn't mention the princess herself in that synopsis, I just noticed.
I mean, I think that's on purpose. Because that would be a pretty big spoiler. Honestly, if we can, I know that typically we say, like, within the first couple of episodes that we would be, like, fine with it, but I think the first couple episodes of the show are kind of important and intriguing the viewer to begin with, so maybe if we can be as vague as possible about the princess, that might be a good idea.
Can we just say princess to refer to her to?
Yeah, I would recommend that,
Indeed.
yes.
Yeah. Just make it less confusing.
But yes, there is a princess who, for some reason or another, is on their team at some point or another, but we're not going to divulge into that too much. Because that's part of the intrigue of the show.
And starting right there, I mean, I think the show did a really good job at keeping itself intriguing. Like, I didn't know everything going in, but they presented it in a way where I wanted to know more. And, I don't think that's something that I pay enough attention to, but I think this show does deserve recognition for. I think they did a very good job with that.
Exactly.
As one who didn't know what to expect from the show at all, and just kind of binged it all within a single weekend, the show aesthetically was pretty interesting. The music was pretty poppin'. And again, the intrigue was pretty well thought out. It also helped that the core cast was also interesting, and you get to learn a little bit about them as the story unfolds in this world of spies.
I think that one of the things that I liked a lot about Princess Principal is if there's one thing that I maybe don't have as much of an appreciation for as I probably should, it's Monster of the Week kind of shows. And I feel like Princess Principal or Principal or however you want to pronounce it, really adopts kind of that kind of, I don't know, story structure to simultaneously kind of build the world. And I think that that's really great because a lot of Monster of the Week things, literally, and I say Monster of the Week, there aren't really monsters in this show.
No.
I mean...
Mission of the Week.
Mission of the Week, sure. Mission of the Week show. And, I mean, to be fair, I love magical girl shows. You could argue that Cardcaptor Sakura is a, Monster of the Week show. But outside of specific genres, I'm not a really big fan of them. And I think the reason why Princess Principal, up until a point at least, really shined for me was because each episode, as independent as it is, helps build what you've already seen, which is pretty cool.
Yes. Well put. Yeah. I forgot what I was even going to say, but I agree with everything that you just said.
I mind wiped you.
Yeah, really though.
Oh, man.
Really though.
Here comes the Men in Black.
Galaxy Defenders. Oh. That's what I was gonna mention. I don't. Not the Men in Black. Not the Men in Black. But
The movies. I mean, you want to talk Men in Black?
But even talking movies and TV shows, I don't actually do a lot of spy media.
No James Bond?
It's not something I've ever really had much interest in. I think part of that also just goes for, like, with James Bond, it's like the suave guy spy, and there's, like, action and hot girls. I don't know. It's basically a genre that I haven't really sunk my toes in enough. And I really appreciated seeing it here. It was really refreshing in an anime setting, I thought. And it certainly helped having it be a cast of, like, badass girls. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Do you guys watch spy stuff a lot?
I mean, the only other thing I can think of that I watched when I was younger was Totally Spies, which again was about, a bunch of girls.
Yes!
Completely different kind of feeling though, and I mean, that technically doesn't, I think that was a French production or something.
It was like a
so.
French wannabe anime.
Yeah.
Oh, how could I forget such a gem?
It's funny because when I saw that on Cartoon Network way back when, before that there was Charlie's Angels, and I thought Totally Spies was a spoof on Charlie's Angels. It probably could be for all I know. I don't know exactly, but it's still pretty cool. Again, badass females, and they're just teens doing teen things while being badass and saving the world.
That's a good one, Craig.
I didn't watch it, but there was also Kim Possible, wasn't there?
Oh my god. I loved Kim Possible. That was my shit back in the day.
That show is god tier. Okay, yes.
Call me, beat me, if you want to reach me, if you want to page me, it's okay.
Whenever you need me, beat me.
Call me, beat me, if you want to reach me.
Do, 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 do.
What's the sitch?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
good.
I'm having a nostalgic-asm right now. Oh.
Taco meets nacho. I call it the naco.
Okay, wow. So I have seen more spy stuff than I've seen. But you know what? Not spies in anime. So GG, Princess Principal. GG.
I can't think of many... I can think of other series that have had spies in them, but not actually been spy anime. I can't...
Yeah.
I just typed in anime about spies, and I got Darker Than Black.
Okay.
Joker.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Joker game.
I haven't seen it, so...
Darker Than Black is good. Well, the first season's good.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
need
heard
to see
season
it.
2 went to shit.
Joker game, technically Eden of the East.
True, there is some spying in that.
Yep.
Something called Night Raid 1931.
Oh ho ho.
Yeah.
I guess Read or Die is kind of secret agents with superpowers in a weird way. But it's not really spies and espionage with that. It's just that's more action-packed blockbuster. The only spies things I've seen coming to mind are like James Bond and Mission Impossible, and the likes.
I just think I like watching female leads kick ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like strong female leads, and we got several strong female leads, and that made me happy, especially because I think that we can argue up until, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that most of us didn't like the ending, but up until the sloppily executed ending, the show doesn't really have too much of a through line story. So the characters had to carry it. And those characters being strong, independent females who can kick your ass is pretty good. It's pretty great. Yep. They have great outfits. I love them.
They really do, don't they?
I also just loved how each of them had their role to play, had their shoes to fill, and each of them had basically a unique thing. You've got the getaway car driver. You've got the one who handles voices, which the first time that I discovered that was a thing, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
In episode 1. You've got the ones that do the more hardcore beating. You've got, a seductress. They each have their own thing that they bring to the team, which is really, really nice.
Yeah.
In like it's not like necessarily like Sailor Moon where every character, has their element, but like they all are kind of there to do the thing until Sailor Moon comes in and like does her finishing move. Like everybody had a different part to play, and the way that their spy work went on, it was tiered and complex, and they all needed to be doing something. It was fun to watch play out.
Yeah.
And like you definitely got a sense of this. Like some of the missions wouldn't have worked if X person wasn't in such and such location at the time that they needed to be, while this other character was off doing their own thing. They needed that person there to help them get to where they needed to be. And such, and their different, their varied skills all came together and complemented each other.
I also like that they would divvy up, so you'd get a lot of like random matchups of characters and moments of bonding that were just like inherent in what the mission needed from them, which was nice. I don't think it's like the most impressive like group dynamic I've seen, but I did appreciate the dynamic between the girls, and it wasn't just like so-and-so hung out with so-and-so. Like, they did feel like they all got along with each other.
Yeah, I mean, there are other series I've seen where it's like, okay, these two get paired together and those two get paired together, and they sometimes all work together, but when they get split off, that pair and that pair. This series didn't do that. They did mix up the pairings so that you got nice little bonding moments between all the characters, really, to some extent. At least most of the characters bonded with each other.
One thing I also enjoyed is the exploration of the insecurities of each character.
Yeah.
Because each girl has their own insecurities. Some more actually relevant to the spy work than others. Some directly involving how, they might feel about how useful they are or not. And then some things where, previous feelings or backstory might play into a specific mission. And they play around with that a lot, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
It was definitely really cool to learn a bit more about each of the girls as the series continued and the missions unfolded. And some of the two best episodes really hit you in the feels with, I'm not going into what happens, but they did hit you in the feels with, like, different characters' backstories and things that had happened. And showing their motivations.
Being ambiguous, I'll just drop it at this, but I also liked that there is there is romance. There's kind of underrepresented romance that was nice to see in that show as well. I know people that reach out for that series that show that, we're really pleased with Princess Principal and its execution in that matter, which is good.
Yeah, definitely. 150%. And I'm happy that we're getting more of that subtle representation in recent anime, actually. It seems like it's becoming more prominent in the last, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I love it. It's good. It's good content. We should probably talk about the characters that we keep.
I thought we already were.
I more meant like who our favorites were.
Yeah, we have to ask Craig's famous question.
Yeah.
Who is everyone's favorite characters?
Would you like to open us up with why we're the same person?
Oh, yes, because we both love Dorothy. Because she's great and amazingly developed and underappreciated towards the end. But hey, I loved her.
She's amazingly developed in 2 ways.
Oh, yes. Honestly, I love that they had a member of the team, joking aside, that actually is technically an adult who's in their 20s but is masquerading as much younger. And I think that was a cool little thing that made more sense to her being kind of like the lead of operations of a bunch of teenagers. Especially in aspiring. Like, one of the things about anime that makes it mildly unbelievable is that you've got these children, 9 times out of 10, that are able to, I don't know, manage themselves. And let's be real, group projects never went well in high school.
Oh my gosh.
And I think that it's nice to have this mother hen figure who's also kind of a drunkard, who also has her own insecurities, but really holds the team together, even when you're not noticing that that's exactly what she's doing. It's great. I love Dorothy.
I agree completely. I love her. I love that she drives the getaway car also. I love it.
Part of me did love every moment. She was like, well, my turn. My turn to use my womanly charms.
Yeah. But I absolutely agree with Cassie. I think one thing that really sold Dorothy on me is in a world of so much lying, so much like, you know, things that you have to hide. She's very, like, she's still an efficient spy, but she's also human. She's, like, true to her feelings and, like, the way she feels about those around her, which I really, really admired. I felt a earnestness in her character, and I could relate to that more than, say, some of the other characters. And again, like you mentioned, the mother hen aspect is also great. Just made her really enjoyable.
Who's your favorite character, John?
My favorite character is the lovely young lady from the planet of black lizards herself, Anjay, the one who is constantly lying because she has to. And she just ended up being so intriguing to me that I was just like, okay, where does the lie end and where is the truth in what she's saying?
Yeah.
And I am a sucker. I am an absolute sucker for episodes where a character starts telling this fantasy story about some nonsense to someone, and it's actually, no, this is actually my backstory. I'm just changing certain facts to make it sound like I'm talking about someone else, but no, I'm actually talking about what happened to me. And I'm such a sucker for that kind of those episodes. Those always end up being some of my favorite episodes in any medium, and that was definitely one of my favorite episodes in this series.
You know what?
And yeah, she's totally kick-ass, and there was moments where I'm like, what? So what are you gonna... You're not seriously gonna go through... Oh no, okay, fair enough. Like, carry on. Do you.
Is it weird for me to say I found her chivalrous a little bit?
She was. And, like, one of the things that I was going to mention is if you're going to love Anji or Angie or Anj or however you want to pronounce her name as a character, you're going to love her instantly within the first 2 episodes. Because I actually think that while later episodes, specifically the one that John's referencing, I feel like that episode actually gives more backstory to another character than it does herself. Whereas the first couple episodes, you really get to see who she is as a person. And like you said, where her lies really end up being kind of kind. And it shows two sides to her character. And you get that by the end of episode 1. So,
yes.
While she wasn't my favorite character, I was very intrigued by her from the very, very get-go. And yeah, definitely, I can see why you would fall in love with somebody like her. She's a very well-established character, even from the very beginning.
Also a very stylish hat.
Very stylish.
That top hat and cape, man, it's so cool.
I'd date a woman in a top hat and a cape.
Yes, please.
So basically, I'll be honest and say, coming into this call or this podcast, I just picked a character at random. I'll be 100% honest. I flat out will say Dorothy, in my opinion, is pretty strong for various reasons or another. But I think all of them are strong in their own right. They have an episode to shine one way or another. And like, as Cami said, they all bring something to the table, the different skill set to espionage and to get the mission accomplished in one way or another. Who's my icon this week is the princess. She's calm, cool, collected, and dignified as fuck. And also, low-key has a cute girlfriend, just saying.
I really liked her her commitment to people, honestly. She's very earnest and works hard for others, and that was something I really appreciated. Yeah, very much so. Also from a design perspective, I just thought she was super pretty.
Yeah.
She is very aesthetically pleasing.
I also loved her attitude of, like, anytime anyone asked her, why are you putting yourself in danger like this? She was like, I'm already in danger. Why does it make any difference at this point? So...
One thing that I also liked about Princess as well is that when other people didn't have a solution, she came up with one. She was kind of like the backup Dorothy. Like the other mama hen, I feel like, of the group. When the mama hen was out to play, Princessu came to save the day.
Hey, that rhymed.
Indeed. But no, like, for example, without going deep into spoilers, there is an episode where one girl in particular is having some insecurities, and wants to duel another student. And is having some issues with, not just with her anger, but also with her place in the team. And while it seems like everybody else is dismissing it, the princess is the one who comes in to try and aid her, in only ways that she can. And I think that that's really good.
She played her position really well. Like, when she knew she could, she said, I'll make these steps because I have the position as a princess. And that was nice to see.
Yeah.
Also, I will say, she was at the, like, bottom of my tier list when I started the show. And then by, like, the middle of the show, she shot up several ranks because of things that are revealed and intricacies of her character. So don't let her fool you. There's more to her than her princessy nature.
Yeah, she's more than just a pretty face.
Speaking of pretty faces, I guess.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Production-wise?
Pretty faces. On facial features, I loved the way the eyes were styled. When you'd get close-ups, there were kind of like charcoal smudged lines behind everybody's eyes that I really loved. I love the way that they shaded and designed the eyes. I thought they were pretty eye-catching. Oh, God. But yeah.
One may say it's eye candy.
Oh, no.
God, Craig, don't add to this. Don't add to the problem.
Pete would be proud.
Pete, you better be listening. We're doing you a service here.
Yeah, the eyes are really pretty, and just so many other effects in the series are super pretty.
What did you guys think, Craig and Cassie over there?
For in terms of the production,
Yeah.
that it being a small studio, I didn't really expect all too much, but honestly, everything was pretty fluid. Like I said in the front of this, I was I was rather surprised by the way it's set up. Nothing seemed stiff or awkward. Um, Shout outs to I know I'm jumping ahead with this, but I like the music especially. It had a aesthetic and a style all of its own. Uh, Again, it goes with the espionage and spy motif. I really liked it, and character designs were cute.
I agree. I think it's good to keep in mind that this didn't necessarily come from a small studio. It was from two studios working together, and one of those studios made Flip Flappers, so I was expecting it to look nice. I wouldn't necessarily even say that I wasn't expecting anything or that it was a small studio. I would say that I came in expecting something at least serviceable, and I got more than that, so I was very happy. Like Cammie said, there was a lot of detail in the eyes, especially in the facial expressions, and also with backgrounds and with color palettes. A lot of stuff in the show took place at night, and unlike Fate Apocrypha, where I had nothing but complaints about when things occurred at nighttime, there was a lot of stuff that was very easy for me to see even when I was watching stuff on a train. So I appreciated that.
Nice.
Mm.
I loved how unique at least the main girls' character designs were. I don't know. I thought they all had a fun character. Like, God, I can't words. But anyway, I thought they had a fun identity to them. They were all known enough. Like, when I first watched the show, I was like, mostly I noticed Chise's look, and she has like the flowers in her hair and like a very striking outfit. And I was like, ooh, I want to get to know this character, or like, you know, I just enjoyed little aspects like that. And to go further into that, just the costuming is really cool in this show.
Their spy outfits all look really, really cool. And then you've just got their like more civilian outfits, and then their school uniforms. They all look just stunningly designed and well thought out.
Especially because each girl's uniform is actually kind of, if you pay attention, uniquely designed to fit their character, which is pretty rad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think another thing I wanted to ask your guys' opinion on was maybe like the details in the setting and the display of like technology for the world, like the steampunk technology and stuff. Do you guys think that they really committed to like that aesthetic?
I think it does, because again, it's around prevalently around the wall and the way the cars are presented.
That's true.
And the trains to an extent. And then you get to see some cool all university technology with the Calvarite, and especially how that's used with the espionage and whatnot, anti-gravity essentially. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
The airships and things.
Yes, the airships.
I love the airships designs. And I did love the cars, especially the two different cars that the girls drove. The setting, like, I like how when it was in the school, everything was nice, pretty, well kept, but like the moment you went outside of the school, it felt like the time period of London. It was not necessarily a clean city. And it felt dirty and gritty and like smoggy, without necessarily making it look like, without like just going, oh, there's fog everywhere, which would have been a lazy way to go about it. They did like get the feel of London from the time period it's supposed to be set in.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too. I thought that was pretty cool.
And there was actually something else about the setting that I actually need to go back and check, but I think the layout of the wall, because there was one shot towards the start. I think it was in episode 1, where it actually showed an overhead shot of London with the wall going through it, and there's the way that the wall goes, and then suddenly bowls out in one direction and it goes back around. I think what they actually did when they did that was they went on Google Maps, told it to show the major roads, and just traced a couple of the major roads in and out and around London to to say this is the path the wall is going to take.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, I guess.
I'm sure they did their homework.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Because I feel like we're itching for it. How about that music, though?
God, it was so good. I watched and sang that opening every time.
The opening and the ending, I love both.
Yeah.
Even if it took me way too long to realize that they were singing English for all of both of them.
that again.
I caught bits and pieces of it, and I'm like, I really need to find out what they're saying in this. And they're like, wait, no, it is all English.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Persona soundtrack English, where it's like, you know it's English, but you can't really discern all of the words. But, like, at the same time, it's cool that it's in English, and again, I think that's more just tribute to the setting, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And the lyrics, if you pay attention, are describing literally, like, the plot of the show. At least the opening does a lot of that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's like, I'm a girl who sees through lies, and it's just really cool. I liked it a lot.
Get across the ball.
Run away! Yes.
Yes.
And Cassie, you mentioned this before when we even just talked about the opening, but the fact that it's jazzy is really awesome.
It is.
I'm always down for more jazz.
Also, aesthetically, it's very pleasing.
Shadows.
There's a lot of shadowing and also a lot of each character is shown, but in a I don't know, kind of eerie but cool way. I don't know. It was really cool. And then they've got them driving away in the getaway. It's really good. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I never skipped either, like the ending or the opening. I really enjoyed them. They were another part of the show integrally that I loved.
I also liked that the ending had like the little paper cutouts, kind of.
Yeah, and they were trying to hide from the light. Like the light would shine on them and show like more clear, detailed, still like paper cutout version of them, but then they'll dash off into the shadows again.
Yeah, they were like, oh no, they'd like kind of hop and then run away. That was cute.
One thing that I also really liked about this show is that it was very consistent, both with its animation quality, with its pacing when it came to music score, and also with, honestly, just the overall presentation. Taking like story and characters out of it outside of the character models. Everything was really pretty. Like, if I turned down the volume and just watched the show without understanding anything that was going on, I can't think of a single episode where I can go, yep, that's where the budget tanked.
Yeah, same.
I mean, there were moments where, like, there were just characters sitting around, but it never felt static. It still felt like there was stuff going on, stuff to keep you intrigued about what was going on, even when it was the slower moments, like just them in the car having a little chat while they drove to their next destination, or sitting around discussing the next plan.
Yeah, I think the only episode that I felt was a little bit like, okay, this is their conservation episode, is the laundry episode. But, like, at the same time, that was more of a fluff episode. And I think that when it mattered, they knew where to put their budget.
Yeah.
Which was really good.
But even the laundromat episode was still fun.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Cassie, you mentioned something about the character models, though?
Yeah, the only time I can think of where the models went off, because I said if I was just looking at just the character models and the backgrounds and everything else, everything was pretty much consistent, except for, like, for some reason, in the last couple of episodes, things looked a little wonky sometimes. Like, there's a scene where one of the characters, like, kicks up and a bunch of little gas things pop out from under her skirt. And the way they animated the kick was really freaking weird.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like, I think that for the most part, I never thought that the character models got wonky, where I could be like, oh, hey, this entire episode was just kind of bleh. Whereas I could pick specific episodes of, let's say, Fate Apocrypha, that everything was always off model or just looking really creepy or weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only thing I noticed, and again, like, usually it balanced itself out during close-ups or when it was well animated, but sometimes, like, I felt like the characters had giant heads and really, like, scrawny arms and, like, bodies sometimes. Like, those proportions felt weird. But it was usually in, like, scenes where it was, like, farther away and they're standing there, and then when you get a close-up, or when it was just a well-animated episode, it all kind of balanced out again.
That's a good point. I'd have to go back and look at them.
Yeah, same.
Although taking that into consideration, how did you guys feel about kind of like the moe-ish kind of like style? Because that was something that I thought was kind of cool, that because it does have kind of like a moe tinge to it, especially with the character designs.
Yeah.
But I think that balanced well with like the steampunk aesthetic.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I can see it. I really don't mind it. In a way, I think it actually made the characters feel even more badass, because, like, hey, here's these cute girls. They're really cute, aren't they? Watch them kick this guy's ass.
Yeah, their personality. I think also their personalities didn't give way to the fact that they were designed slightly moe. Which was good. They didn't become, I mean, like, Beatrice is Beatrice, but, like, she had also her own shining moments, and, like, that felt more like just her character, rather than, like, the entire cast basically acted moe, like, accordingly. I also do think that, again, having Dorothy was some refreshing leverage, like, within the group dynamic. Visually. Yeah.
I mean, I would even argue that Dorothy's design is kind of moified, but, like...
Yeah.
But I liked it because I think that one of the things that they like to hammer in is, like, how cruel it is that all of these kids are basically doing the government's dirty work. And it makes them look more youthful than they are, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like the same thing, obviously not to the same extent, but it's one of the things that I really liked about Made in Abyss, for example. I love when these kind of character designs are put into a more dark and grittier setting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting stark contrast, right? Where, yeah, like you said, they're cute, but also they're doing dark and shady shit.
Yeah. They that they are. And sometimes it was just so fun and so liberating to, like, see them going and doing what they do.
I don't want to go too much detail in it, but Glass Reflections, I believe, did a video talking about not just Made in Abyss, but a few other series that had darker elements but more cutesy designs to the characters, and how the cute designs helped you tolerate the really dark and awful things going on.
I don't even think I don't think tolerate is the word to use. I think that the point, because I've watched the same video, it's actually more unsettling.
I think he said there was, like, two different sides of it, and it really complements it and also helps sell it at the same time. I think is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, we'll have to find that video and link it, because it is a good watch. Very interesting to see, and he puts it way better than I could. In all honesty. Anything else anyone wants to talk about before we go on to ratings?
Production wise, no. I think I'm ready to rate.
Same.
All right. This wasn't actually anyone's. Oh no,
it was
Cassie,
mine. I lifeboated it.
It was your lifeboat, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was it. So I guess that means Cassie needs to go last, so I guess I'll go first then. Since I am the host and the one talking. I really enjoyed this series. It was really great all the way up until the ending. The ending felt a bit lackluster compared to pretty much how the rest of the series was. I have mixed feelings about the ending. If they somehow got greenlit for a second series of this, I would definitely be all on board for watching more of this, because the settings, the characters, they still have me very intrigued. So I did really like this series. I'm not sure if I can really give it a love it though. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a very strong like it.
Okay. I will go next, mainly in regards that I think I echo a lot of your sentiments, John. That, it's interesting too, because this is one that I ended up binging, and this was fun. This show was fun. I genuinely really enjoyed getting to watch this show and going through it and everything that it presented. Like I said, I think the setting and the art and the music are all very refreshing and not something that I always see. I caught myself thinking a lot, and Cassie, you can take all the credit for this, but I caught myself thinking, wow, I'm really glad this isn't one that we skipped out on from that season, because it's good. There is something there that I found pretty special. Again, I don't think for any, glaring reasons outside of the ending, I don't think it ever reached, 5 out of 5, love it, masterpiece tier for me, but it was fun. If I was going numerical, on a 5 scale, I'd consider this a 4.5, so, for us, I think that translates for me as also a very strong like it. I do think people should absolutely check it out, because it's unique and it presents something really cool that everyone should see. So yeah, same here, strong like it.
So basically, what can't be said that's already been said. I've said this at the beginning and I'll say it again. I binged all the show. I didn't know if I'd like it from the get-go. It was presented to me as a underdog or as a show that no one saw that was underrated, but people should check out. This show, from its aesthetic to its characters to what it presents in terms of espionage, it was something different and something pretty cool to check out. Each episode introduced you to a facet of the characters' backstory or whatnot, so you could get to know the core team. However, like the others have said previously, the ending last couple episodes tried to say, oh shit, the plot's there, we gotta do something with the plot. And then you realize the car goes from 0 to 60 within no time at all. Then it crashes into a wall, and then it ends, and then you're like, well, what now? And spoilers, guys, this is an original property, so nothing's been announced. So you can't read no manga nor a light novel. Yeah, so see if there's an OVA or a season 2 in the future. We don't know as of yet. So that being said, I was rather surprised. I give it a like it as well. It's fun. Just know that the ending is kind of sloppily executed.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yep.
I guess it's my turn.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that Princess Principal, the best way I could summarize it is it's a series of introductions. It's a series of introductions to characters that you're going to find yourself either loving or not. And in that regards, I think that you should definitely check the series out, because if you don't like the characters, you're not going to like the show. Because that's basically all it is. It's you learning about each of these lovely ladies and what their special talents are and what they do to make those talents shine in a less than perfect time in their history. And I think that's really important and something that we need more of in anime in general. However, unfortunately, I do agree that the ending of this show is the most lackluster part. When I initially was going into this show, when I got to around episode 8, I was like, wow, this is a solid 8 out of 10 show. I am in love with this show. And then I watched the last couple episodes and I dropped to like a 6.5. It's that jarring, guys. And if you're one of those people that bases the enjoyment of an entire show off of how it executes its ending, because I do know those kind of people exist, I don't recommend it. But if you just want to watch a nice, fun anime that, like Cammie said, is just fun, it's a good time, it's a well-developed character piece for the most part, then I liked this show a lot. And I think that it's definitely worth a viewing, but I would say tread carefully if you're somebody who's very, very story influenced when it comes to your enjoyment of anime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's across the board?
Yeah.
2 weeks in a
Like it's across the
row.
board,
Woo!
so-
I was gonna say yes. Heck yes, go us.
We were thinking about doing a spoiler room, but we kind of already alluded to all the points that we were talking about bringing up in the spoiler room. So
Yep.
And it's really a series that you kind of want to go in completely spoiler free on. So
Yeah. Keep that intrigue.
to keep the intrigue and keep you guessing for some moments until like the moment hits and the big reveal happens, and for some of the heavier hitting points. So once again, you can reach us on twitter.com /the Annie Chatbox. You can email us at anniechatmail@gmail.com if you'd like strongly disagree with us about something or agree with us. Feel free to let your thoughts be known to us. You can once again find this on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and SoundCloud. And once again, if you feel it within your heart of hearts to donate to us, any contributions will be greatly appreciated. You can do so at patreon.com/AnnieChatbox. And with that, I must bid you adieu.
Adieu, adieu, to you and you and you.
Adieu.
Adieu.